So there has been quite a bit of consternation and, dare I say, gnashing of teeth about wide receiver Xavier Worthy and the fact that some people have thought to this point in the season that he is shaping up to be a bust. I do not believe that is true, but one thing that is true is his rookie season is now on pace to be lesser than that of Rashee Rice, though I would contend that there are a couple of metrics, snap counts included, where Rashee Rice was not on the level of Xavier Worthy, and I think that there are extenuating circumstances for Worthy in that I don't think last year Rashee Rice really made a difference to any plays where he did not catch the ball. I think that Xavier Worthy changes the way defenses are playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. And, I get that there are worries that he is a bust. I don't think that is the case. And there are a couple of articles out within this last week that I want to take a look at and then end this video with some stats, because I think that the Xavier Worthy conundrum is a little bit better off than perhaps we are giving that for which we are giving it credit. Now, I want to start with the bad news. The bad news that's actually good news. We have from A to Z Sports by Nick Roche an article titled Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes admits what everyone is saying about rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy's Week 11 game versus the Bills, and that might not ring true off the top of the article. You might not immediately know where Mr. Roche is going, but you do. We get this about midway through the article. Then, early in the second quarter, Worthy broke wide open and caught a pass down the sideline, but it was ruled incomplete as he was unable to keep both feet in bounds. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes took most of the blame for the miscue, appearing to have thrown the ball too close to the sideline, leading Worthy out of bounds. Mahomes was asked after the game if there's a timing issue between himself and Worthy. I mean, it's probably just me throwing it more out of bounds to the guy. That's wide open for a touchdown, Mahomes said. So if I throw it inbounds, it's a walk-in touchdown. I have to be better there. I think that's a little bit untrue. I think that ball should have at least been caught. Maybe not in stride, but should have been caught. That makes for the second time in as many weeks that Mahomes has missed Worthy on a deep pass that would have gone in for an easy touchdown. The Chiefs were unable to survive that mistake last week were able to survive that mistake last week in a win over the Denver Broncos, but weren't so lucky this time around. Mahomes also went on to say that he hopes they can keep Worthy more involved throughout the entire game in the future. Xavier came out hot, making plays, Mahomes said. Hopefully we can keep him more involved throughout the entirety of the game. That goes with me giving him chances. Now, I think both sides of this argument are perhaps too easy. And I think part of that is because the Chiefs had gone for so long without being punished for those mistakes. It's too easy to say, yeah, he caught the ball out of bounds 2 weeks in a row. That would have been like 110 receiving yards he would have had in addition to those which he has. That would have been like 2 more touchdowns than what he has on the books. He would, at that point, be having a phenomenal season. He just needs to find better awareness on the field. The other side of this argument that also is too easy is to say, hey, he's been playing football his entire life. Why did he forget where the sidelines are now? That field is the same size in college. What is he doing out there? Both of those arguments are too easy because the truth really is somewhere in the middle. The truth really is that, yeah, it's a rookie mistake because he's not used to where it is he is running on the field. Probably there aren't as many option routes at the college level. So when he starts his route and then has to adjust the route he's running, it's difficult to sort of track where you are on the field. Xavier Worthy, coming out of college, had elite ball tracking skills. So I don't think that part is the problem. But the other part of that argument is too easy because it's just kind of reductionist. To say that, why can't he get this right, is to accept the fact that there's nothing at fault for this except for Xavier Worthy being subpar. I don't think that's true. Mahomes, of course, takes the blame with his quotes here, but I don't think that the blame is completely on Patrick Mahomes. I think both of those passes were catchable. I think they should have been caught in bounds, and I think that the one especially this past weekend should have been caught in bounds and still taken in for a touchdown. Who knows what that Bills game looks like with that touchdown on the board. Now, I also think that during the course of a rookie season, there are so many things that a player has to adjust to that sometimes it's the old stuff they start to get wrong. But Mahomes does suggest that it is his fault, and he does suggest that they're going to keep getting Xavier Worthy involved with chances in the game. I think everyone kind of wants to know what happened there, why it is that Xavier Worthy sort of disappeared after the first quarter of that game. I have some thoughts, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Now, the second article here, hits and misses on 2024 NFL draft class grades after the halfway point of the season by Brent Sobleski of Bleacher Report. And they list Xavier Worthy as a hit. I think this could come as a surprise if you were keeping up with the rookie class of wide receivers. But this is an historic class of rookie wide receivers. Is Xavier Worthy performing to the level that several receivers picked before him and a couple receivers picked after him are performing? No, I'm not going to make that argument. But this is a loaded rookie class. And there are a couple guys that I think will emerge heavier after their rookie seasons. Hit Xavier Worthy, Kansas City Chiefs, pre-draft grade 7.4, overall ranking 50th. The article states, the same muttering could be heard all around NFL circles after the Kansas City Chiefs chose Xavier Worthy with this year's 28th overall draft pick. How could the other 31 teams allow the Chiefs of all teams to select the fastest player in combine history? In truth, his field tilting speed must always be taken into account after running a 4.21 second 40-yard dash in Indianapolis, but he is far from a complete target for all-world quarterback Patrick Mahomes. As noted prior to the draft, in the NFL, Worthy will be an auxiliary pass catcher used to stretch the field and stress defenses horizontally at the line of scrimmage. However, given Worthy's lack of size and overall inconsistency, especially with his hands, he has a high-risk, high-reward profile that may not be for everyone. Even on a squad screaming for anyone to step up as its top threat, Worthy has specific packages in which he contributes. He is far from a complete option. He's managed more than 3 catches and 50 receiving yards in only 2 games so far. To understand the Chiefs' situation, he is tied for the lead among the team's wide receivers with 24 catches. Rashee Rice also has 24 receptions despite playing in only 4 games before suffering a season-ending surgery to repair his LCL and hamstring. Mahomes is simply more comfortable targeting Travis Kelce, of course, the running backs out of the backfield, and now DeAndre Hopkins. So, yeah, is he predominantly used in specific packages? Sure. Is he only used in specific packages? No. The guy has played over 430 snaps so far this season. That speaks to the fact that he does get a lot of playing time, not just a sub-package number. Now, Looking at the stats here, one thing that I think is interesting to note, the first week of the season, he had 3 targets, 2 receptions. He also had 1 rushing attempt, meaning that he had 3 total touches. The next week, he had 3 total touches. He had 4 targets. He had 5 total touches the week after that, but still only 4 targets in the passing game. It was not until the 49ers game that Xavier Worthy peaked with 8 targets in the passing game and a carry. That is 9 total touches. So I think that what you are looking at is a team that is figuring out how to use Xavier Worthy, or it wouldn't be 9 total touches. He only caught 3 of the passes, so it's 4 total touches, but 9 attempts at getting Xavier Worthy the ball. We are seeing a slow increase, with the notable exception of the Tampa Bay game, in the amount of targets/touches being had by Xavier Worthy. We can see at that bottom there the receiving numbers for the season. 24 receptions, that's 3 more than Marquez Valdes-Scantling had all last season. 307 yards, that is 8 yards fewer than Marquez Valdes-Scantling had all last season. 4 touchdowns, that is 3 touchdowns more than Marquez Valdes-Scantling had all season. One thing that might be a bit troubling if you are a tried and true Kansas City Chiefs fan, Marquez Valdes-Scantling seems to be doing pretty well down there in New Orleans. He had, I believe, a 77-yard touchdown this week. I think he had a long touchdown, 40-plus, last week as well. So we have to wonder, as dismal as Marquez Valdes-Scantling looked, as abysmal as Marquez Valdes-Scantling looked as a member of the Chiefs last season, was it all MVS? And I think that we can say from the performance of Xavier Worthy halfway through his true rookie season that, yeah, part of it, a good deal of it would have been Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Maybe he had lost the fire. Maybe something was going on there. But you have a rookie through his first 10 games already outperforming what it was that he did all of last season. The interesting thing going forward with Xavier Worthy will be this. How many attempts do the Kansas City Chiefs make to get him the football? We saw him last week against Buffalo cash in 4 receptions for just the second time this season. As the article states, he went over 50 receiving yards for just the second time this season, although I would add that if you're looking at yards, why not look at all-purpose yards, where this would be the 3rd time that he crossed 50 offensive yards, the first time, of course, being Week 1 versus Baltimore, where he added a 21-yard rushing touchdown. Xavier Worthy in that game against Buffalo proved that he can take hits. It's been one of the things that we have been worried about here in Kansas City, especially this season, with the Chiefs' propensity to lose offensive players, offensive skilled positions. He took a couple hits, a couple good hits, and got right back up, proving that he can do that. I think it is likely that we start to see more and more targets for Xavier Worthy going forward. He did not catch just one route, and he did screw up his deep ball opportunity. If he doesn't do that, he has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. That was going to be, I think it would have been like a 65 yard touchdown. So he would have had 120 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. That we would have looked at as a true breakout performance. Something that he hasn't had quite yet, but I think he's going to. It was week 7 last year when Rashee Rice really took the season by the horns and became a preeminent receiver on the team. So we're a little bit overdue for a breakout game from Xavier Worthy as far as that comparison is concerned, but I think that there is a larger learning curve for what it is that Xavier Worthy does. Rashee Rice last season, large part until the playoffs, caught the ball at the line of scrimmage and then tried to hit people. Not saying it's a bad thing, that's just kind of what his game was at the beginning of his rookie year. So Xavier Worthy, I think, though he might not be getting the stats to back this up, I think that he is a more advanced player than was Rashee Rice last year at this time. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more Kansas City Chiefs-based content in the future. The Chiefs are the only thing I talk about here, and I hope to have you back for the next one.